the builders of the wall. Then Eliashib the high priest and his brothers the priests rose up and rebuilt the sheep gate. They consecrated it and hung its doors, and they sanctified it even as far as the Tower of the 100 and to the Tower of Hananel. Next to them, the men of Jericho rebuilt, and next to them the sons of Zachar the son of Imri rebuilt. The sons of Hasnah built the fish gate, they laid its beams and hung its doors with its bolts and bars. And next to them Meremoth the son of Uriah, the son of Hakaz, made repairs. Next to them Meshullam the son of Berechiah, the son of Meshezabel, made repairs. Next to them Zadok son of Bana made repairs. Next to them the Tekoites made repairs, but their nobles did not put their shoulders to the work. Jehoiada the son of Pasi and Meshullam the son of Besodiah repaired the old gate. They laid its beams and hung its doors along with its bolts and bars. And next to them Melishia the Gibeonite and Jadon the Meronothite and the men of Gibeon and Mizpah repaired the throne of the governor of the region beyond the river. And next to them Hananiah the son of Recham made repairs to the wall, and they fortified Jerusalem as far as the broad wall. And next to them Rephaiah, leader of half the district of Jerusalem, made repairs. Next to them Jedaiah the son of Harumaph made repairs in front of his house. And next to him Hattush the son of Hashabniah made repairs. Malchijah the son of Haram and Hashub the son of Pahat Moab repaired a second section as well as the Tower of the Ovens. And next to him was Shallum the son of Halahesh, leader of half the district of Jerusalem. He and his daughters made repairs. Hanun and the inhabitants of Zanoah repaired the valley gate. They built it, hung its doors with its bolts and bars, and repaired 1,000 cubits of the wall as far as the dung gate. Malchijah the son of Rechab, leader of the district of Beth Haksirim, repaired the dung gate along with his sons. He built it and hung its doors with its bolts and bars. And they repaired the wall of the pool of Shelah by the king's garden, as far as the stairs that go down from the city of David. After him Nehemiah the son of Azbuk, leader of half the district of Beth Zur, made repairs as far as the place in front of the tomb of David, to the man-made pool, and as far as the house of the mighty. After him the Levites, under Rehum the son of Bani, made repairs. Next to him Hashabiah, leader of half the district of Keilah, made repairs for his district. After him their brothers, under Bavai the son of Henadad, leader of half the district of Keilah, made repairs. And next to him Ezer the son of Jeshua, the leader of Mizpah, repaired another section in front of the ascent to the armory at the buttress. After him Barak the son of Zabai repaired the other section, from the buttress to the door of the house of Eliashib the high priest. After him Meremoth the son of Urijah, the son of Koz, repaired another section, from the door of the house of Eliashib to the end of the house of Eliashib. And after him the priests, the men of Achshar, made repairs. After him Benjamin and Hashub made repairs by their house. After them Azariah the son of Maaseiah, the son of Ananiah, made repairs by his house. After him Binwi the son of Henadad repaired another section, from the house of Azariah to the buttress, even as far as the corner. Palal the son of Uzai made repairs opposite the buttress and on the tower that projects from the king's upper house by the court of the prison. After him Pedaiah the son of Parash made repairs. And the Nethinim who dwelt in Ophel made repairs as far as the place of the water gate toward the east, and onto the projecting tower. After them the Tekoites repaired a second section, next to the great projecting tower and as far as the wall of Ophel. Beyond the horse gate the priests made repairs, each in front of his own house. After them Zadok the son of Immer made repairs in front of his own house. After him Shemaiah, the son of Shechaniah, the keeper of the east gate, made repairs. After him Hananiah the son of Shelemiah and Hanan, the sixth son of Zalov, repaired another section. After him, Meshullam the son of Berechiah made repairs in front of his dwelling. After him Malchijah the son of Seraphi made repairs as far as the house of the Nethinim and of the merchants, in front of the Mifkad gate, and as far as the upper chamber at the corner. And between the upper chamber to the corner and the sheep gate, the bronze workers and the merchants made repairs. The workers are ridiculed. Now it came to pass, when Sanballat heard we were rebuilding the wall, he was distressed, and he was furious and was mocking the Jews. And before his brothers and the army of Samaria he asked, These Jews are rebuilding their city. And Tobiah the Ammonite, who was with him, said to them, Surely they will not sacrifice or eat in this place of theirs, will they? For even if a fox goes up on it, will it not break down their stone wall? Hear, O our God, for we have become a scorn. Return this reproach of theirs upon their own head, and make them a scorn in a land of captivity. Do not cover their lawlessness. Conspiracy against Jerusalem. Now it happened that when Sanballat, Tobiah, the Arabs, and the Ammonites heard that the rebuilding of the walls of Jerusalem was progressing and the gaping holes were being filled in, a great evil came over them. For they all conspired together to come and attack Jerusalem. And we prayed to our God and set watchmen to observe their presence day and night. Then Judah said, The strength of the enemy is broken, but there is so much rubbish that we will be unable to do work on the wall. And our adversaries said, They will neither know nor see anything till we come into their midst and kill them and cause this work to cease. And so it was that the Jews, the ones dwelling near them, came and said to us, They are coming up against us from all sides. Therefore I positioned men behind the lower parts of the wall in the sheltered areas, and I positioned the people by families with their swords, their spears, and their bows. And I looked and arose and said to the nobles, to the leaders, and to the rest of the people, Do not be afraid of them. Remember our God, great and awesome, and fight for your brethren, your sons, your daughters, your wives, and your houses. And when our enemies heard their plan was known to us, and that God brought their plot to nothing, we returned, all of us, to the wall, each man to his own work. So it was from that day forward, half of them did the work, and half of them took up defensive positions with spears, shields, bows, and breastplates. The rulers stood with the entire house of Judah. Those who built on the wall and those who carried burdens loaded themselves in such a way that with one hand they held a weapon, and with the other hand they did the work. Every one of the builders, as he built, had his sword girded at his side, while next to him was the one who sounded the trumpet. Then I said to the nobles, the rulers, and the rest of the people, The work is great and extensive, and we are scattered across the entire wall, each man far from his brother. Therefore, wherever you are, when you hear the sound of the trumpet, rally together to meet us there. Our God will fight for us. So we labored in the work while the other half of the men held spears from daybreak until the stars appeared. And at that time I said to the people, Spend the night within the midst of Jerusalem, let the night be a guard for you, and let the day be for work. And I was there along with the watchmen behind me, and there was not one man of us who removed his clothing. Notes from the previous page. 2:19-20 Whenever God's will is being carried out, expect the critics to step forward. Jesus had the scribes and Pharisees, St. Paul had Demas and Alexander the coppersmith, 2 Timothy 4:9-15, and Nehemiah had Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem, who laughed at the project. The prophet, not arguing, said, God will prosper us, see Exodus 14:14. 1 Thessalonians 5:24. 3:132 The work to rebuild Jerusalem and restore Israel within the land God promised to their ancestors begins at once. The laborers are a veritable who's who of Jerusalem and the surrounding communities. They include the high priest and the priests, v1, and the men of Jericho, v2, who are likely returned exiles from that city. The Tekoites, v5, from Amos' hometown of Tekoa, Am 1:1, did repair work, their nobles probably sided with Sanballat, along with the sons of other district leaders, verses 12, 14, 16, and some Levites, v17, the cooperation is stunning. The Nethinim, v26, are a group or order of temple servants. Even the merchants took part, v32. 336 Nehemiah's response to those openly opposed to God's will is not anger but prayer. That God will bring vengeance against them, see Genesis 12:1, 3, Joshua 1:5, Deuteronomy 32:35, Romans 12:19. 4:1-3 Not only verbal ridicule, but here also armed conspiracy becomes a tool of those opposed to God. 4:7-8 A wonderful picture of synergy working together with God. Nehemiah strategically positioned men to fight, while promising the people that God will fight for them. 4:10 Judah is the people in general. Note how half played offense, doing the work, and half played defense, protecting the project. Internal strife. Now there was a great outcry of the people and their wives against their Jewish brothers. For there were those who said, our sons and our daughters are many, therefore let us get grain, that we may eat and live. There were even some who said, we pledged our lands and vineyards, even our houses, that we might receive grain and be able to eat. Some even said, we borrowed money for the king's tax, pledging our lands and vineyards. Yet now our flesh is as the flesh of our brothers, our children as their children, and indeed we are forcing our sons and our daughters to be slaves, and some of our daughters have been brought into slavery. It is not in our power to redeem them, for other men have our lands and vineyards. And I became very angry when I heard their outcry and these words. After serious thought, I rebuked the nobles and rulers and said to them, each of you is exacting usury from his brother. So I called a great assembly against them. And I said to them, according to our ability we have redeemed our Jewish brothers who were sold to the nations. Now, indeed, will you even sell your brothers? Or should they be sold to us? Then they were silenced and found nothing to say. Then I said, what you are doing is not good. Should you not walk in the fear of our God? Because of the reproach of the nations, our enemies? I also, with my brothers and my servants, am lending them money and grain. Please, let us stop this usury. Restore now to them, even this day, their lands, their vineyards, their olive groves, and their houses, also 1/100 of the money and the grain, the new wine, and the oil that you have charged them. So they said, we will restore it and will require nothing from them, we will do as you say. So I called the priests and required an oath from them that they would do according to this promise. Then I shook out the fold of my garment and said, so may God shake out each man from his house and from his property who does not perform this promise. Even thus may he be shaken out and emptied. And all the assembly said, Amen, and praised the Lord. Then the people did according to this promise. Nehemiah's unselfishness. Moreover, from the time that I was appointed to be their governor in the land of Judah, from the 20th year until the 32nd year of King Artaxerxes, 12 years, neither I nor my brothers ate the governor's provisions. But the former governors who were before me laid burdens on the people and took from them bread and wine, besides 40 shekels of silver. Yes, even the outcasts bore rule over the people, but I did not do so because of the fear of God. Indeed, I also continued the work on this wall, and we did not buy any land. All my servants were gathered there for the work. And at my table were 150 Jews and rulers, besides those who came to us from the nations around us. Now, that which was prepared daily was 1 ox and 6 choice sheep. Also fowl were prepared for me, and once every 10 days an abundance of all kinds of wine. Yet in spite of this I did not demand the governor's provisions, because the bondage was heavy on this people. Remember me, my God, for good, according to all that I have done for this people. The opposition intensifies. Now it happened when Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem the Arab, and the rest of our enemies heard that I had rebuilt the wall, and that no gaps remained in the wall, though at the time I had not hung the doors in the gates. Sanballat and Geshem sent a letter to me, saying, Come, let us meet among the villages in the plain of Ono. But they were plotting to do harm to me. So I sent messengers to them, saying, I am doing so great a work that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease? As soon as I finish it I will come down to you. And they sent me the same message again, and I answered them in the same manner. Then Sanballat sent his servant to me as before, with an open letter in his hand. In it was written, It is reported among the nations that you and the Jews plan to rebel, therefore, according to these rumors, you are rebuilding the wall that you may be their king. And you have also appointed prophets to proclaim concerning you at Jerusalem, saying, There is a king in Judah. Now these matters will be reported to the king. So come, therefore, and let us consult together. Then I sent to him, saying, No such things as you say are being done, but in your own heart you invent them. For they all were trying to make us afraid, saying, Their hands will be weakened in the work, and the work will not be done. Now, therefore, I have strengthened my hands. Afterward I came into the house of Shemaiah the son of Delaiah, the son of Mehetabel. And he, being distressed, said, Let us meet together in the house of God, within the temple. And let us close the door of the temple, for they are coming to kill you, indeed at night they are coming to kill you. And I said, Who is the man that shall enter the house in order to live? Then I perceived that God had not sent him at all, but that he pronounced this prophecy against me because Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him. For this reason he was hired, that I should be afraid and act that way and sin, so that they might have cause for an evil report that they might reproach me. My God, remember Tobiah and Sanballat according to these their works, and the prophetess Noadiah and the rest of the prophets who would have made me afraid. The wall is completed. So the wall was finished on the 25th day of Elul, in 52 days. And it happened, when all our enemies heard of it, and all the nations around us saw these things, that they were very disheartened in their own eyes, for they perceived that this work was done by our God. Also in those days the nobles of Judah sent many letters to Tobiah, and the letters of Tobiah came to them. For many in Judah were pledged to him because he was the son-in-law of Shechaniah the son of Ara, and his son Jehohanan had married the daughter of Meshullam the son of Berechiah. Also they reported his good deeds before me and reported my words to him. Tobiah sent letters to frighten me. Then it was, when the wall was built and I had hung the doors, when the gatekeepers, the singers, and the Levites had been appointed, I gave charge of Jerusalem to my brother Hanani, for he was a faithful man and feared God more than many, along with Hananiah the leader of the citadel. And I said to them, do not let the gates of Jerusalem be opened until the sun is hot, and while they stand guard, let them shut and bar the doors, and appoint guards from among the inhabitants of Jerusalem, one at his watch station and another in front of his own house. Notes from the previous page. 4:13-15 As with these workers, we often need to endure sacrifice and discomfort not only to complete God's work but also to sustain over time the project God gives us to do. 12:27-28. 5:1-5 The great outcry was over grain shortages, verses 2, 3, having to borrow money to pay the king's tax, v4, and having to sell children into slavery, v5. 5:7-11 After serious thought shows yet another facet of Nehemiah's brilliant leadership. Not acting impulsively, he prays, plans, and thinks things through before issuing his rebuke. Usury, the charging of interest, is permitted, but not when both parties are Jews. Exodus 22-25, Leviticus 25:35, 38. This rebuke, including the touchy issue of slavery, v8, worked. The nobles and rulers were speechless. 5:14-15 Typically the governor lived at taxpayer expense, but not Nehemiah. Because of the fear of God he provided for himself, as did St. Paul hundreds of years later, 1 Corinthians 9:1. 18, setting a servant example for others. 5:19 Those with a sincere faith in God who act with righteous motives may seek a blessing from him, Deuteronomy 28:1, 14, Mark 10:29, 30. 6:1, 2 The plain of Ono is near Judah's border with Samaria, a 2-day journey. In meeting there Nehemiah would not only risk his own life, but would jeopardize the rebuilding of Jerusalem. 6:5 Having previously failed to thwart him, Sanballat delivers an open letter to Jerusalem to discredit Nehemiah and through rumor bring dissension among the faithful. 6:7 The king who would get this report is the king of Persia, Artaxerxes, 2:1. 6:9 With great leaders, the more people say the job will not be done, the greater the leader's resolve becomes. With God's help, Nehemiah's hands only get stronger. 6:10-12 Shemaiah, an apparent prophet whom Tobiah and Sanballat had hired, v12, was revealed as a false prophet, for his words were in disobedience to God. The reference to Noadiah, v14, indicates others had been hired as well. 6:15-16 The enemies lost out and God's will prevailed as the wall was finished in just 52 days, less than 2 months. Disheartened, even Sanballat and Tobiah were forced to admit the work was done by God. 6:17-19 Though defeated, the well-connected Tobiah continued his letters of assault. Jesus called this kind wolves in sheep's clothing, Matthew 7:15.